in my mind, they were very, very close, but sort of NSIB had that consistent slight edge, which makes all the difference. But after that last game, good Lord, who can say?
I've got to say, I think the majority of these games, like in terms of a common pattern between them, I feel like confidence is such an important part, because I feel like almost every single one of these teams playing has the capabilities to win this trophy, but it's those players who can really take the pressure, run with it, work with their team, and throw off the opposition. And we've seen both those things from New South Wales A and Queensland A. It will be interesting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, we're seeing the same starting lineup as well in the race.
I've got to say, I've been so impressed by 33 from Queensland. I think there's Queenslanders have so many players who are so easily underestimated, but as soon as it comes down to it, they're almost unbeatable. Like, we're seeing 33. I don't think I've ever seen her at state before, which is going against Brandon Frizen, known as the Frizen Break, simply because he's almost unbeatable.
Frizen Break.
He's also called Frizen Break for a few things, but I like to think he was called Frizen Break because he was able to pick up that quaffle and get it in the hole as fast than anyone else could.
Yeah, that's Kim Parry on QLD running for the quaffle. And we've seen a great showing from her today.
We're seeing Yukitashi 32 versus Xavier Luna 52. Let's see who's going to get control.
Oh! Bit of a slow start there from Ukes. It looks like he might get the ball. No, it's going to go to Xavier. Brandon's got the quaffle. Ball up to Jake Sutherland. Big shot. Finds the teammate. Oh, and a stray kick. Gives it back to QLD. Raj Kapoor in keeper.
I've got to say, I've been really impressed by the addition of Raj to the Queenslanders.
Absolutely.
I've really found that his strengths are really helping to provide adaptability to the weakness that the Queenslanders formerly had. He can block shots, he can make shots, and he's very calm under pressure. And I think every other Queenslander team can do everything else.
Absolutely. 1.5 here from QLD. Ball gets past to Harry Huang. Quaffle back to Kesan. Up to Josh Lindley. QLD juggling their one bludger, but Ruth, with that persistent 1.5, holds the ball up. QLD unable to find a way in, though. Oh, beautiful. Surprise beat from Harry Huang.
We're seeing the Queenslanders relying on their own version of the AA set offense, which they were doing before, and we're seeing the New South Wales doing a similar line as we said before. You'd think that both teams would change it up from the past two games, but it seems like they're both doing similar tactics. Let's see how it'll affect the game. We got Sutherland begging for the ball down in the corner, the same position that Sam Chittenden was in earlier. He does like himself a little bit of space. So let's see if it's going to pan out for him. Pass to Sutherland.
Oh, beautiful thread.
Oh, and a great read from Xavier Luna.
Read like a book. Beautiful read there.
They lost the potential goal, but they got the control back.
Oh, a big shoulder. Beaters don't use their charge very often.
I have to say, I feel like an advantage that the New South Wales had over Queensland last game was their beater depth. But at the end of last game, we saw typical keeper and now coach Joe Dodd beating. Let's see if they're going to exhaust their beaters the same way.
Oh, I love to see Dodd come take the field. Oh, huge, big run here. Look at those long legs. 1, 2, 3.
He's keeping it simple and he's keeping it quick. I definitely feel like a big mistake New South Wales were having last game, where they were just losing a little bit of that ball near hoops, that last 5%, and it looks like Jake isn't giving them the chance to pluck the ball out of the air. He's just going to put that ball through the hoop.
Absolutely. And it's dangerous when you let Jakey get at that much speed.
I think it's dangerous when you call him Jakey. I haven't heard anyone call him that.
Jakey Sutherland?
But that's his new name. New name.
Well, luckily he can't pull that move on me because I'm a beater. He can't hit me with those drives. He can score on me, which is pretty terrifying. QLD coming in with their big wide passes again. Oh!
It's a fast break from a potential pass to Brandon.
Oh, golly. Woo!
Oh.
Oh! Behind contact around the head.
There's some dodgy hands on both teams.
Raj going to get right in there as he should. So he restarts. Oh, he's Is that going to go back to defense?
I think
It's going to go back to defense.
I think regardless of the events of the muss over here, it's very interesting to see that New South Wales have scored a goal and they're about to score another one on these really fast but simple fast breaks. It looks like their beaters are sort of, I'd say, pressuring the Queensland beaters on their defense, is sort of almost cornering them, and then they're looking for those fast break opportunities.
I think it's going to be consistent danger for Queensland, those transitions.
I'm going to find it very interesting to see how the Queenslanders will change the way they play when Raj changes for Simon. I think they're some of the best keepers in the game, but have very different play styles.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard to think of two people who have such a similar build, but so different on field.
Insanely so.
Okay, really wide chases here. High pressure from Luke Derrick and Kelsey Collins in beating. NSW really controlling a lot of space here.
I really think Luke is going to sort of build on that momentum that Harry's brought him. I think when you're really gaining on the opposition, that's when you put Luke Derrick on there to keep the foot on the gas.
Derrick with an interesting tactic there, turning his head away from the player. Beautiful, fantastic work.
I've got to say, I definitely think the New South Wales partner do have the advantage so far, but Xavier Luna has been killing it. Sometimes it takes twice. We both know that. Sometimes you just got to beat him twice.
You only got to go twice.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes two, and that's okay.
We're seeing...
Oh, maybe a miss. Big budget tussle. Fantastic. 5 points to Derrick there.
Looks as though the New South Wales team don't care about keeping control. They just care about throwing off their beaters, and they care about scoring goals.
QLE also gave away a control opportunity there, which is unfortunate. Just in the transition. But yeah, it looks like their strategy is, look, goals are forever.
And now, is that Alex Winterborn now in for the Queensland team? I've got to say, I think he's been one of the most standout performances in the tournament. I mean, which is hard to say because last year the kid won like 5 of 5 snitches, and now on top of being a gun seeker, he's a gun beater. He took a lot of, and he just took the ball from Luke Derrick, just proving my point.
Good extraction, resettle.
And we've got Nicky Redmond on there with Alex Winterborn, and if anyone can lock down control, it's definitely 21, Nicky Redmond.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Nicky Redmond this tournament.
I remember last year I was a part of the Bluetongues, and whenever you saw Max and Cameron Walker on the field, they called it the Death Squad. That was when Harry and the rest of us were very nervous. So I think it's interesting to see them both on the field right now. I wonder if they're still nervous.
QLD doing a really good job of keeping the ball alive here. Taking it to the corners.
Oh, God.
Beautiful. Good block. I think that was a bit of a... I think what QLD are trying to do here is frustrate the defense a little bit and hoping that they misplay. And I think maybe that was a little bit of a frustrated pass from the offense, which is interesting.
I know it's a tight game, but for me it really looks like the New South Wales they figured out what they're good at, and they figured out what's going to work against Queensland. And it's a bit dodged on the way they're doing it, but it's working. I think
you're right.
To me, if I had to guess who's going to win right now, I'd guess New South Wales. But as I said, it can go either way.
Yeah, it takes one timeout for that all to change. Oh, fantastic tackle from Jess Lindley.
And we're seeing Simon span on. Let's see if, things are about to get a bit hot up in here for New South Wales.
Oh, this is a bit of a dream team right here. Oh, no, it's not. Josh Lindley. It's fine. I'm sure he's subbing for someone important.
Gary Haig.
Gary Haig.
Very important.
It's not the QLD Classic, but it is an excellent put. What a rip! And good spoils from the defense.
We're seeing the Winterborn Redmond locking down that control. Oh, but we've got Ashana Bay on, and if anyone can turn the tide of a game, it's Ashana Bay.
I love me some Ashana Bay anywhere on the field.
It's easy to find him in anywhere on the field. He can play anywhere on the field. And we've got a cheeky catch from Usha.
Usha! Oh!
She She doesn't need 3 hoops. She only needs 2.
And I think we've seen both teams trying to pull that move. It's not been working for QLD. I'm really pleased to see that Queensland managed to pull it off.
I think we might see a card for it.
Goal is called good. That makes it 3-0.
I think this is the furthest behind Queensland has been in all 3 games that they've had today.
I just spotted Nathan Morton here reffing in a Collingwood jersey. He was very excited on Friday night when they won.
I'm sure all the other Victorians in the audience.
Yeah, he got a lot of shit for it. Oh, ouch, that hurts. Those are drive and shoot high on the tall hoop.
We've got Gary Haig on the sides. It looks like he's going for a cheeky Yukitoshi. We call it the Yukitoshi because no one can... no, Max is on.
Just been seen.
Do you reckon New South Wales is going to take advantage of that one player down?
It looks like they're going to settle. I would take advantage. I'd be like, let's go. I love your ambition, and I'm going to punish it. Oh, beautiful tackle. Oh, Kason with the block.
You got an intercept from Kate, then into a shot, and an intercept from Kason.
It looks like she's fallen on the base.
I've got to say, it's twist after twist after twist.
What a play. And especially with like chasing Gary around the field, Gary hiding down the back, then getting chased around and coming back into the front, laying the tackle. Then the flick out, which was astounding. How did that happen?
I really commend Kate for really getting to the thick of it. It's my first instinct when things get dicey to just get the fuck out of there. But like, she got right in there.
Absolutely.
Intercepted the ball, which was almost a point-blank pass, and almost made the shot. And then I commend Kason for knowing that the game wasn't over.
Absolutely. When everyone else went to the dog pile, she went to the hoops.
Well said. Gotta see, like...
Jeez Louise.
One of the most unfortunate things about the Queenslanders is that they can't seem to get a break for these injuries. They're so unlucky.
So if you're a Joe Dodd, what do you think you're saying right now in this little huddle?
I'd like to think he's saying we've got to change things up a little. We can't do the same stuff that won us the game last game. These New South Wales players, they got an eye on what we've done. We've got to change it up. I think that's really hard to do. How would you... Because is Chris Peake out? Is he injured? Because I've got to say, if there's anyone on the team from Queensland who can really change the pace of the quaffle game, aside from their 2 keepers, it would be Chris Peake. I was really impressed by some of his earlier games.
Yeah, fantastic. I think there's something about that needs to be changed up. It looks like NSW has really like analyzed what happened in the last game and has adjusted.
Not over adjusting either, which I think is quite rare for smart teams.
Yes, it's a hard thing to pull off. But
I honestly think a good remedy for their situation with New South Wales is throwing in Jessica Lindley. I think she is she's got this way about her in which she's very easily underestimated. She doesn't prioritize as the threat, but she's just as capable as any other drop bear player, and she uses that to her advantage. Same with Mr. Lindley, but I'd say no one is more underestimated on that field than Jessica Lindley, and no one knows it more than she can, and she takes advantage of it quite well. So I think the solution to this is giving Jess in a spot, maybe the 2 or 3 role, and suckering out the New South Wales beaters and point with like your Simon Spans who are going deep, who can cover the ground quickly, or your Rajas, or your Garys, but the real haymaker comes from the Jessica Lindley. Now that we've lost...
I think Jess in number 2 and displace one of the people you usually have in number 1 or 2. Have her up the top and push someone else around the side who wants to drive, and let them drive a little bit later.
When it comes to the beating play, I think when it comes to Queensland, they've got a simple rationale when it comes to beating. They're like, let's get control, lock it down. Our chasers can beat their chasers in a 4v4. But I'm not sure if it's working for them here. I wonder how they're going to adjust to it.
I think NSW has a big history of like focusing on chaser defense against drives. And I think you got to keep that in your pocket when you need it, but it's not your go-to strat. And the Queensland go-to strat here seems to be, if we're not going to drive, then we're going to take a tall pass over the top.
Yeah.
And they've adjusted to that. So you
Yeah.
got to find a different. You got to find something else.
For sure. I'd say that the New South Wales have even done their own version of like a pirated copy of the Queenslanders AA, in which they've got their Cam Walkers out back, ready for a shot.
Oh,
from Max.
good smother.
Great
From
interception.
both. Oh, Jess Lindley with the drive.
Tell
She's
ya,
going to settle.
she's underestimated for.
Incredible. That was a goal for NSW that she just blocked. That was for sure a goal.
That wasn't going to be anything.
Now, that one maybe wasn't. Oh, look at the legs on this boy. Oh, and Raj with the
Great
block.
block.
Oh my God. And you were saying earlier what Raj brings to this team. That's what Raj brings to this team.
I also think he's a great example of a smart player. I think the amount of times I've seen Max Brenner score a goal using that wind-up, ridiculous left-hand thing that works almost every single time. Raj is able to intercept that and then put that hand up to block. It's almost like a high five.
Yeah.
A tall high five that blocks Max's almost unbeatable drive.
And Raj is probably the only person on QLD who's seen that enough times from experience to see it coming. With the exception perhaps of Gary.
Was that not a beat? Oh, he wasn't called beat.
Oh, and that's unfortunate.
Is he gonna? He's running on one beater. Oh. New South Wales know, even though there's one bloke
Some
who
big counter drives.
they've got to keep it fast. They've got to keep this
Yes.
game fast. They can't let
Yes.
Queensland keep control the way they like it, and they've got to just keep them off their toes.
Yeah, I think that was the right call to take that shot. Normally I would say no, but I think in that case it was the right call.
I think Jacob Sutherland did a similar thing last game, but he didn't get a goal. But I still think that was the right decision, and Max did the same thing.
This is an interesting game. In the last game I was saying that if you like took the footage and played it back, you would see, oh, good beat there from Ashan. Takes out Raj. Ball gets scrambled. And caught up. I was saying in the last game that if you like played back the footage in speed, it would almost all be right-hand side of the field with QLD doing incredible defense and then rebounding. And I feel like it's the reverse this time. Oh! Oh! When did Brandon get on the field? Brandon rubbed straight to the sub box to a hoop to score.
We've got a cheeky grin from Sutherland as they pull themselves up to a 40-0.
Brando should sub now to keep that goals per minute stat.
I definitely think the New South Wales change they've made from last game is that their subs are a lot faster, and they've realized that I think they just have more depth than the opposition. So if they just keep on changing without anyone getting too complacent, their talent will just outshine. Like, because not only does Queensland have a smaller, more inexperienced team, but they've got a lot more injuries as well. So we've got a Sutherland
big
drive
here.
Lindley's been able to drop them before. Oh!
Oh! Oh, beautiful! Souther gets his goal.
I remember last year, Cameron Walker gunning down the field, one-on-one against Lindley. He was able to stop Cam the same way he did Jacob, but he couldn't stop Jacob and Brandon.
Yeah, they were both there.
I definitely, a lot of people criticize the fast break as a very easy way to fall into hero balling, but I think a fast and smart break. Oh, 2 catches for the price of 1.
Both at short range. Oh, good jump, vertical leap.
We're seeing Queensland trying to shut down that fast break opportunity as Jess was making a shot before she was pressed from New South Wales.
Some subs here. Luke Derrick coming on with Kelsey Collins. Having a quick chat. There's the 1.5.
Don't think he didn't have ball, so I think that would have been it.
Oh! Catch. Oh, the fumble pass to Jakey Sutherland. No goal.
And it's a no-beater situation.
Oh,
Is Brandon gonna
just barely
take advantage
saves
of
double
that?
reset.
Now we find Xavier Luna stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's got Kelsey behind him. He's He's got Brandon to his right. He's got Luke Derrick eyeing him down. These are the decisions that really make or break an elite level beater.
Kelsey to the left, if you dare to the right, here I am. Taking a ping on Quaffle. Bom, 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 bom.
If you were in Xavier Luna's position right now, what would you do?
I would be sad. That's what I would. I would just be sad.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah. No, I think I would. You'd be looking for a shot on Brando, but
It's about priorities in this situation.
It's not a if you don't take the shot on Brando, he's got to run. You've got Josh Lindley in front,
and he can't make the pass to Roof. My first instinct would be pass to Beater on Hoop after a fake on Luke. That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
one option is maybe making a pass to Hoops, getting there before Luke can, and then is he beat? Yeah,
he
doesn't
just takes
matter.
the beat.
And a goal.
And Brando scores.
That was a clean goal.
That was already a goal. Yeah, but good effort. Good effort. Oh, they're all just going to have a fight over it. Brando's going to have another go. He wants another goal. Oh, this...
I think that ref is going to say that goal was good. The first goal was good.
That ref has the exact same angle as us, and that was a goal. For sure.
If the head ref doesn't call it, I can totally understand, though. It was a mess down there.
It was a mess. That was a hard call to make.
I've got to commend the head ref. Like, I don't think there's any other head ref in Australia who could do what Logan's doing right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. QLD here have an opportunity to catch their breath. Gary Hay coming back on, Raj coming off, Elise Fox coming on. We've got Xavier, we've got Kim Perry. And they have not found a way into these hoops.
Gotta say, Xavier Luna is really putting in the miles here. And I really feel like New South Wales, he's had a great game.
He has.
But I definitely think, like, they're really running him dry, and I think that's exactly the way Luke likes it.
I think you're right. He's really getting his steps up. His Fitbit will be happy. But I'm a bit worried for him.
Oh, we're getting some sneaky sneak from Simon Span. Oh, but Jacob's on.
Oh, I love some Simon Sneak.
Jacob doesn't need to even look at him.
Sneaky Span.
Once again, Jacob Sutherland's going to hog that corner. He loves him some space.
He loves in that back right.
He also loves himself a mark, but it seems like the Queenslanders aren't just going to give it to him. I think it's time for a cut from Sutherland.
Oh, yes. The screen comes in. The beat misses. Oh, the fumble. Fantastic defense from Gary Haig. Good choice. That's a good choice.
I've got to say the majority of the game, I feel, is in the Queenslanders' half of the field. Or how do you think this game is going? Why is this game different than the last two games? Even the last game that New South Wales won, I feel like it was a much tighter game than this.
I feel like, it's hard to say. There's a little bit less energy from the QLD beaters, which might just be a consequence of playing a long tournament and having, slightly less depth than NSW, slightly fewer sub rotations. And NSW are playing for energy. They're like, I'm going to burn all my energy and force you to do the same, and then I'll win easily at the end when you're cooked. There's a little bit of that going on. I don't think it's the only thing happening. I think New South Wales have just sort of, they've made some mental change. They've read the game, and they've adjusted in a way. I think after the last game, QLD would have walked away and said, we did great, let's do it again. NSW would have walked away and said, what did they do well? How do we block it? How do we stop it?
Yeah, well said. When you asked me, what do you reckon Joe Job was saying, I reckon that's exactly what they were thinking at the end of that last game.
What do you think Harry Jones in this? Harry and Butler, what do you think they're saying? They're going to be saying, good job, keep going.
Yeah, for sure. I think New South Wales, when things are going smooth for them, is when they play at their best. When things are rocky, especially at the beginning of the game, that's really when they get in their heads, and that's where Harry Jones really comes in and tries to calm the tides. But when things are going to plan and people are following him and Steven's plan, he doesn't really have to do much. But I definitely think the first 2 minutes of the game really determines how this game will go when you're playing like elite teams like this, especially New South Wales. I think a big weakness of them is they get their heads too early.
Oh, it's very high. Straight and collected by the defense.
This tournament has not been kind to the hoops. They have not been kind to the hoops.
Simon Span here. Dismounting himself. No, that's Span taking a walk. I recognize that. That's Span getting a bit frustrated and taking himself for a walk. He's going to have to make sure to keep a cool head here. So we'll see if that team huddle is going to help them to make a play here. Their last play got just totally spoiled by Ashan.
And I've noticed the Queenslanders now don't have their two people behind hoops as they were doing when K-Sam was playing. Let's see if this adjustment is going to win them the game.
Oh! Amazing!
And a goal! Looks like they were forcing the beaters to overextend themselves, and in the confusion, Gary goes in for a shot.
That looks like old Queensland to me. That's like, oh, you remember this thing we used to do? Let's do that again. Cool. That was great. Elise Fox baited a shot, which is what she tried to do in the last one. It didn't work out last time, but that time she succeeded.
It looks like in this one offense we've seen Queensland adjust. Let's see if they can continue this momentum, and let's see if New South Wales can counter it. We're seeing a cut from Harrison Keane, maybe a screen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, potential goal, no. Called no good.
Yeah, wow. I did like that screen, though. That was a great screen.
Yeah,
Sprinting.
from Harrison Keane up the back, doing a screen for Max. What you'd think, and then as soon as the Queenslanders see this coming, they're going to try and jump on Max, which draws them towards him, and then a clean run for Sam. It's a shame it wasn't a goal. It would have been beautiful. And we're seeing Chris Peake finally from the Queenslanders. Let's see how K Sand Hockey's back. We've seen a big change from the Quadball players now. Let's see how it affects the way they're going to play.
Good little 1.5 from Xavier. Oh, we've got a call here. This might be a boundary call. I didn't catch that from the Quaffle. No, it was Xavier's behind contact. I did see that. I thought, yeah. He wasn't moving significantly. I don't know. I think we're sort of, as a community, still figuring out how fast you can move in behind contact. And especially because it's the first time the States have played together outside of World Cup training. The States are probably all officiating it a little bit differently.
Harrison Keane back at it again. Oh, he's asking for the ball. Not going to do a cut this time.
Ooh. Excellent play. They're saying it didn't go in the hoop. They're saying it didn't go in the hoop. They're frustrated. Span's not picking up the quaffle. And this
Definitely, I'm telling you, it takes one to know one when I say that Simon Span is someone who, once he gets wound up, I definitely think it affects the way he plays.
Yeah, like, I think the big danger here for QLD is getting wound up. I mean, obviously they're down 8-1, so the big danger is the goals, but the game could fall apart if they get riled. Good little handoff there. Raj now down the back.
Oh, we're gonna a screen on Harrison Keane. Oh, we've got a read from Ashana Bay and a catch.
Oh, big scrap. Here comes. Jeez, yeah.
We're seeing that nightmare synergy right there.
Yeah.
Ashana Bay reading what I would say that what the Queenslanders were about to do would have been a great offense if it wasn't for Ashana Bay being the wrench in the works.
Yeah.
And then he just clears the way for Max, and Max likes it simple.
In fact, that was a new offense that we hadn't seen out of QLD. It hurts to have that red so quickly when they hadn't shown that offense before.
think it was a pass off to Chris Peak, and then Raj is going in for a screen. He's actually quite good at them. And it
was a good move.
Would have been Chris going in for a run and maybe a pass to Jess on the wing, or maybe even Kaysan behind hoops. But let's see if they do it again.
Oh, Logan with the duck. Oh, the big shot, and it goes too high. And Raj just standing there, shaking his head, getting his head out of it. Focus on the game. The score is 9-1 now, and Jono O'Brien on the field to snitch. Snitch is released and just runs back to his own sub box.
I'd say an advantage that New South Wales would have against Jono is that they've got a seeker roster that definitely knows how to catch him, but they've also got Gary Haig, and Gary Haig has caught Jono many times. So I think at this point it might almost be which seeker can get there first.
It might, yes, yeah. It might even come down to, well, you're right, it might come down to which seeker can get there first. They've neither have had a clean run yet. But Gary might have a run now. Jono's doing an excellent job to hold up.
It looks like Harry Huang is just focusing on quaffle play. They maybe have... we've got Usher on seeking, but it seems like Harry's quite clear that he'd rather focus on quaffle than he would snitch.
Oh.
Mark, if you're in New South Wales position, you're up 8 points. Do you go for snitch or do you go for points?
I think snitch. I think quaffle is good here. I think quaffle is okay here, just because in the normal quaffle game, the pre-snitch quaffle game, you were really dominant, and I think you don't let QLD come up in points.
See, I've got to disagree. I think if you're already up, you just want to finish this game. A game, anything can happen the longer a game goes on.
I guess I'm not used to the pairing. Oh, there you go. That's what I was getting at. I'm not used to this snitch. So your read of this snitch will get caught, given one-on-one time, changes that decision making. And that's what just happened. So it looks like you were right.
What's the old adage? The longer that the refs talk, the less likely you are it's going to be a clean catch.
Yeah.
Let's see how long they have a good chat. Oh.
Nicola coming in.
Yep. Head ref shaking his head.
I think as well, like, my thought of Protect Quaffle is biased from yesterday against your Blue Bottles, where we didn't settle, and we got punished for it. We were like, just a couple more goals, just one more goal. We'll just score this one. We'll just play hard and score this one, and then we didn't. And then you counterattacked and you got a goal. And like, okay, do this one. We'll just score this one, and we're. Oh. Wow. Fantastic. And that's a clean catch for the New South Wales Bluetongues, this year's 2023 Quidditch Australia State Shield champions.
I've got to say, very well earned. If I was to win cup like that team just did, that's the way I want to do it. Like a worthy team.
Absolutely.
But after a few good bouts and where it's a very close game, we outdo them.
Absolutely.
Fair and square.
No doubt at all.
But I've got to say, very impressed from New Queensland. They every year I see them, they just get better and better. What used to be a dominant, like last year, it was New South Wales had not two easy wins, but 2 wins against Queensland. It was quite obvious they were the winner, and the third game never even happened. Now we're having 2 insanely close games, followed by a finals where it's a clear winner. Maybe next year we're going to see a much closer game and maybe even a possible victory from Queensland. I would not be surprised.
I have been saying ever since they came on to State Shields, ever since they joined State Shield, they have felt like the sleeping giant who's just growing in momentum. Queensland, that is.
And not time span? Right.
He was never a sleeping giant.
Yeah, he's the grumpy giant.
He was a very, very loud giant who makes himself known. Well, I guess he's a sneaky giant, so maybe he acts sleepy. But, yeah, every year they've gotten better, and I'm looking forward to what they pull out next year. What an incredible match. Any last little highlights?
I just think the way that the New South Wales carried themselves as a team, like I definitely think what holds Australia back is that we have great players, but just our teams aren't working together. I think both teams have proven that they can work well as a team, and that's where we need to go as a national team. So I think this is only good things coming from this tournament. Absolutely agree.
Well, thank you very much all for joining us. This has been your 2022 Quidditch Australia State Shield, hosted here at UNSW's beautiful campus. I've been Mark Kelly.
And I'm Jackson Flynn.
Thank you so much for joining us.